tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Hi everyone, welcome to Dharma Earth's Dose of Dharma, and this is your dose of Dharma for today. So we talk about the next blessing, which is a craft. So in the introduction, we talked about that a craft here could refer to a craft of a layperson or the craft of a homeless one, no? But are all crafts of a layperson considered a blessing? So let us see what the commentary has to say. Actually, the commentary says that any trait of any layperson that do not cause harm to others and are devoid of the unwholesome. So what are some of the examples? Well, it could be like a person who sells jewelry, a goldsmith, and so forth, no? So these two things does not cause harm to others and devoid of the unwholesome. When we meet with these two criteria, then this craft can be a blessing to the person. Why is it a blessing? Well, because it leads to good in the present world, right? It helps one to earn a living, and if you are really, really good in your craft, in your skill, then you can really, really make a good living out of that, right? So it is considered a blessing if one has a craft. Well, just think about it, when we were young and we were in school, maybe we didn't think that a craft is important, isn't that so? We used to think that, I just want to play the whole day, I just want to kick soccer, I just want to play rugby the whole day or basketball the whole day, isn't it so? But when one realizes the importance of having a craft to support one's living in the world, then they will have the motivation to really, really go deep and to learn that craft and to try to learn it as well as they can. Isn't that so? So that's why having a craft is a blessing, because it leads to good in the present world. But if one doesn't have a craft, or when you're teaching your kids, or when you're leading your kids, maybe they are in their teenage years, the rebellious years or something like that, then it's good to let them know that a craft is important for them to sustain their living when they grow up. Because some people, they ask, but how do I motivate my kids to study? I have to push them. It's like, such a difficult task. Even managing my company is an easier task than motivating my kid to study hard, So one of the methods, one of the suggestions that I usually give to people who ask this kind of question is that you have to let the child know that studying is a need, it's a necessity, not a privilege. It's not something that they can choose to do it or not. Of course, if one is very rich, they can, but there's the one way that wealth is dwindled away, wealth is lost. One of the 5 ways, the last one is because of unfilial sons and daughters, right? Because they just spend all the money on drinking and having fun and making trouble, then it's not a contribution to the family's wealth, right? So when we can let the kid know about the importance of a craft, let them know that it is a necessity, and let them sometimes feel that if they do not have a craft, then they will not be able to survive or to live the life that they want when they grow up, then that can act as a motivation for them. If they're motivated by themselves, then they will go and study and master the craft well. And when they master the craft well, then it is a blessing for them because it helps them with their living in the present world. Isn't that so? So one suggestion sometimes I give to parents is that, if your kid doesn't want to study, no problem. Just let him or her go out to work. Let them see the working life. But before that, tell them their boundaries, because when they go out, they'll associate with many different people. So let them know what are your boundaries for them, right? Like if you go out with them, then okay, don't smoke. If your friends smoke, try not to smoke because it wastes money and wastes your health, You don't have to smoke in order to get into the group. If that group really takes you as a friend, they'll accept you whether you smoke or you don't smoke, right? Same for crack and for other drug issues, no? And gambling, don't gamble with them and things like that. So set the boundaries first, then after that let them go out to the real world and let them have a taste of the real world. You know, sometimes some families, they are too protective of their kid. You know, they want them to grow up being protected from the elements of society and elements of life. But sometimes when they're too protected, then after they got their degree and they go out, then a simple failure can crush them. That's happening in many parts of the world already, actually. No? So if your kid is not motivated, sometimes, let them go out and have a taste of the working world. Of course, you have to set the boundaries. And sometimes these suggestions lead to good results. Sometimes these suggestions lead to bad results. It depends on the conditions. But at least you give them a chance to try out what is happening in the real world. So when they realize that, oh, okay, if I study just until this level, okay, this person study until this level and he's just working as this and his salary is this. Okay, this person, he study until that level, a higher level, and his salary is that and he's living a life like that. So what kind of life do I want? You're providing him data from the real world, you know. So when he sees and realizes this, then sometimes it might motivate him or her to really study. No? Sometimes you have a new kid like that. Okay, so this is the importance of having a craft and knowing that a craft is important. Alright? And what are the craft of a homeless person? Well, the craft of a homeless person is something like stitching and sewing ropes, repairing an aesthetics requisites, burning the bowl for monks. And it is a blessing of the monk because it is a support for the monk's life. Because if one is skilled in this kind of craft, in the monk's craft, in the sewing of the rope, burning of the bowl, chopping wood, boiling the dye from the tree barks for dyeing the ropes, then they will be able to help other monks. When they can help other monks, they are a strong support to other monks in their monk life. Then ultimately it helps them in their monk life. It also creates a lot of good karma because they are also supporting new monks with this craft and also sometimes helping others with the things that need to be done in the monastic life. And with this, then they are also creating good karma that will help support them in their monk life. That's why it's also a blessing because it leads to well-being and happiness in the present and also in the future. So this is the importance of a craft. Whether you are a lay person or a homeless person, a monastic, if we can learn our craft well, then definitely it is a blessing for us. Okay? So with this, may the Triple Gem bless all of us to be well, peaceful and happy. And may all of us be able to attain path, fruition and Nibbana as soon as possible when we are well versed in our craft of the homeless one, of the meditator. Okay? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.